science started way back in the day. Lego sets brought me to science, and then got my first microscope when I was really little. And then my mom actually worked at University of Pennsylvania Hospital, so I was always around the doctors and looking at the crazy things they were doing.
I started doing science from a young age. I guess you could say I was always a lab nerd. So I started probably when I was 10 years old. I always knew I wanted to be a scientist, so I always competed in science fairs, 4-H clubs, you name it, I did it.
I think that in the biological sciences, you can have an understanding of biology, but you get a deeper understanding by actually doing hands-on research. And I find that many students, when they come to Yale, have never had that opportunity. That's not unusual. So the STARS program provides that for them and makes up for that deficiency.
I'm going to a new site in Kabale National Park in Uganda. It's called Minoro. The Great Cheek Mangabe monkeys that I'm going to be studying, they're a new group. They're an unhabituated group that has never been studied. And I'm one of the first people there who's going to try to follow these animals and try to see what their social hierarchies are like. There's been a couple studies done on them, but nothing too in-depth.
Studying the physiological function of the gene FAT10, which is like a relatively recently discovered gene that was discovered maybe 9 years ago, and little has been done to see what the gene's function is. But studies suggest that it's involved in the immune system, possibly involved in tumor cells and cancer. So right now I'm doing immunohistochemistry to look for the expression of the gene in different tissues.
The way it works is you just turn it on here. As you can see, the UV light starts to glow. That UV light is strong enough, it's pulsating at 254 nanometers, and it's strong enough to kill any bacteria or any of the nasty little bugs that may be lying across the surface. Our hope is that it's also strong enough to penetrate through a test tube and destroy anything that might be flowing through our samples, and therefore preserving the hormones in our samples.
In the labs, they're learning how to do science, but then at the end of the summer program, they require to produce a final oral presentation as well as a final paper in manuscript format, and there wasn't really any support for that piece of the program. So my job was to come in and try to see how I could develop a course that could help give the students these additional skills that are not being provided to them in their lab experience.
Yeah, a lot of the kids, they really felt really insecure about their writing. I mean, a lot of these kids are so unbelievably smart and so well spoken, but many of them are still a little bit insecure about the written aspect, the technical writing when it comes to science.
Just taking apart a scientific paper is a very daunting task, especially as a freshman going into my freshman summer. It was something I never really had to do, especially not in my introductory science courses, but it's something that I use on a daily basis now that STARS really helped me with. So that summer, if I took away even anything, it was definitely going through the scientific papers, having one-on-one time with professors that were able to teach me how to go through a paper, what to pull out of it, and how to implement it in my own research.
My first year in STARS was crazy. The summer was insane. We were thrown into like the lab, and we were full-time, so it was 40 hours, and I didn't know anything. I never worked in a lab before, but it was really fun. It was really fun over the summer to take a class that was all paid for, and it was an eye-opening experience just to be able to work in a lab as a freshman, which is really hard to do.
It's not just the faculty, but it's also I think the peer group is very important. But those are the people you really spend a lot of time with, more than the faculty supports people, right? So there's a good mix of both.
I would say just getting to meet the people in the program, like the group of friends I had from STARS freshman year, I still hang out with all of them. They're in a lot of my classes, so it's really good to have familiar faces in your classes and to have like study groups. I guess that is from the STARS program. Didn't think of that before.
STAR stands for Science, Technology, and Research.
Wow, now you're going to catch me off guard. Let's see.
It starts, oh God, hold on.
Yeah, research, students.
That's cruel. I don't remember what STAR stands for. Science, Technology, and Research.
Science, technology, and research.
Ask Dr. Black or ask Dean George. Catch them on it. I want to see if they're going to give you the right answer.
Science, Technology, and Research Scholars Program.
I feel bad. I thought I should have got it.
But it's like a community kind of situation where, you know, it's just an open, relaxed forum for discussion on all the other aspects of science that they're not learning in the lab. And so it's been actually really great.
I get to see them grow and their ability to do research, to tackle their coursework, to present information in symposia and things like that. So it's actually, what I get out of it is fun to watch students start as beginners and leave the program as seasoned and accomplished scholars.
I think it's a wonderful way for me to use my abilities as a mentor and to prove to young students who are underrepresented in science that this is a possible career path for them. So I think it's a great opportunity that I'm at an institution that has really bought into that being a valuable resource to provide for the undergraduates who attend Yale.
So what I get out of the STARS program is giving back. I see so many other kids that are just like me who are just, who need that type of direction, who want to do better in their lives, or who want to experience something new. So that's the reason why I want to be in the STARS program, is to try to be a mentor to somebody. If you don't want to be a scientist, that's great, but at least I've sort of helped you make a decision one way or the other.
Like you propose a question, like you're really interested in it, and you're the one who's doing all the problem solving and thinking through how you're going to answer it, and then you set forth like an experiment and you do it and you get results. With me, it's going to either be yes, they do have a hierarchy system, or no, they don't, but either way I've learned something.